UFC 314 finished up a few hours ago. I'm going to be matchmaking quite a few people on the card, at 13 to be exact. And we'll basically just be picking the next fight for all of these individual people next in their career, if that makes any sense. Now, if you're wondering why this is coming out a little bit later after the card finished, by that I mean 5 to 6 hours. I had a nap. Forgive me, it was 6 a.m. Okay, right. Starting off, we're gonna do this in any old order. I've just randomized the order, so I don't know who's next. We're gonna start off with the loser of the main event, Diego Lopes. Listen, I said this fight should happen regardless whether he won or lost. I think we should get Diego Lopes versus Yair Rodriguez. These two went at it at the press conference. They weren't even fighting each other. That beef, what am I saying? That beef goes deep as well, because Yair has a problem with his gym. He has a problem with some of the coaches at his gym. Something like Alexa Grasso fits in there somewhere. We've got and then on top of that, he called him a pussy, which kind of just, call on. It just ignites all of the flames all in one go. There's obviously there's got to be more stuff to this. I know there's more stuff to this. Yeah, I swear, Lopez's team cornered a member of Yair's team when he went to Mexico, and they were cornered him and because of something he allegedly did to someone else. This is a deep beef, and I want to see this for UFC 320, UFC Noche. So I'm pretty sure that's in Mexico as well. Get this one done. Co-main event, 5 rounds. Next up, we have Yan Jaroba. I mean, she got a good win over what's her name? Yan Zhaonang. I'm trying to not mix them up. They have very similar names. Obviously, I say she gets a shot at the title against Zhang Weili. I think Zhang Weili beats her. She looks very beatable. I mean, especially with what's her name? Yan Zhaonan. Listen, I'm going to keep messing these guys up. It's just the nature of the game. This is MMA heritage. Zhang Weili beats her, I'm not going to lie. I mean, she looked very beatable against Yan Zhaonan. Arguably could have been 2-1. I mean, obviously it wasn't. One significant strike across 3 rounds is absolutely pitiful. But, you get what you get. But a very low output style, especially in terms of significant strikes. The Torres Finney of women's MMA. Not really, but sort of. Moving on. The loser of that matchup, Yan Zhaonan. I'm just getting them both out of the way at the moment. Tatiana Suarez. All I'm really going to say about this one, they're both coming off losses, and they're both ranked number 1, number 2. So, well, she won't be ranked number 1 anymore. I mean, it will be Yan Jaroba. But, well, we're moving on. Paddy Pimblett, lad. Hey, Paddy the Paddy. This is interesting because Paddy doesn't really fit into anything the lightweight at the moment. He said a top 5 ranking. If you look at the top 5 at the moment, it is an absolute mess. I've got a video coming out later on this week just explaining how you fix this mess. It's actually pretty simple, but you can't allow Paddy Pimblett to get dragged into this absolute mess at the top of lightweight with these 4 or 5 fighters who just need to get one more fight. Because if you stick Paddy in there, then we start asking questions about, who's Ilya fighting? Or, well, if, Paddy's fighting Charles, then what's Gaethje do? Well, let this situation sort itself out. Let Ilya fight Charles International Fight Week. Let Gaethje fight Arman. And to be fair, Paddy is usually takes this much time off anyway. He takes a year off. He hasn't fought since last year, basically, if you take away the fight he had yesterday. He hasn't fought since last year. So, you know what I mean? Just let him take the time off. Let him go back to America and become morbidly obese. Let him do his thing. And then put him in there against Charles Oliveira in coming off a loss in a year and a half. You know what I mean? Or not a year and a half. That's over exaggeration. Half a year at the very least. Don't it's usually when there's no one to fight where fighters suddenly just want to go, yeah, lads, I want to be active. I want to get back in there. Just tell him to slow down, let lightweight sort itself out, and then we can think about putting him in there. Or you just make him fight someone like, Mateus Gamrot, who's below him, which I don't think they're going to do because that would be silly and there's literally no hype behind that fight whatsoever. Next up, Bryce Mitchell, man. I was rooting for him. Against Gene Silver. He got put out cold by a submission. That was an insane submission though. Ninja choke could have broken Bryce Mitchell's neck. Like that was nasty. That was nasty. But Bryce, he fought hard, man. He fought hard. Gene Silver's just that good though. I think you give Bryce Mitchell because if you look at it, Ige's going to be moving up because he got a win. Cater's probably gonna. Where's Cater gonna be? Cater's probably gonna be 15th now. Well, Cater hasn't lost. Well, he has lost, but he's not I think Bryce drops down to 15th, in my opinion. From what I'm looking at the rankings at the moment, I think Cater stays the same. I think Ige moves up to. Unless Bryce moves down to 14, Cater moves down to 15, Ige moves up to 13. I think that also makes sense. Oh no, Cater gets pushed out the rankings because what's his name? Silver needs to come in. So I think Silver comes into the rankings, Cater gets pushed out, Ige moves up to 13th, and Bryce stays 15th. That's what I think happens here. So very bottom of the rankings, needs a fight over someone deserving of a ranked fight, but not yet in the rankings. I think you give him Nathaniel Wood. Now, initially, I was saying Calvin Kattar. I've also said Calvin Kattar for every single featherweight who has fought within the past 2 months that is deserving of a ranked shot. So, there's only so many people I can match Calvin Kattar against before he gets too old. I'm thinking you give, I was about to say Nate Diaz. Bryce Mitchell versus Nathaniel Wood. It's a good fight for both of them, I guess. I mean, you can maybe promote it. It's not really a promotable fight. It's not really too much hype that you could really put in this one, especially because Bryce is he didn't make this fight massive. He did a schmitty, but I think him versus Nathaniel Wood is a good fight to make, I guess. I mean, I've had a look at some people outside the rankings, and there's only so many people I can match Calvin Kattar against. So moving on, Chase Hooper. I had Chase Hooper by submission. He ruined my parlay. Very annoyed at that, but he deserves that next matchup in the lightweight division. I think Drew Dober. Now, I know obviously we want to keep Drew Dober confined to the arena of the Apex and put him against a war against a guy where he can be properly, motivated by when he looks at that skin color. But listen, Drew Dober's coming off a knockout loss. I think is he coming off back-to-back knockout losses? I'm not sure. I think he might be. Okay, his chin has been cracked. Put him in there against submission threat Chase Hooper and let Chase Hooper get a rear naked choke over the eye. You know what I mean? Or we find another Drew Dober fought 2 cards ago at Mexico. I say 2 cards ago, that's 2 weeks ago. Similar time. I mean, obviously Drew Dober's probably gonna want some time to recover. That being said, and Hooper's probably gonna come back earlier. Yeah, that's probably doesn't make sense time-wise, but it makes sense in terms of matchup-wise. I might change this in the future. You never know, because realistically, Dober's going to want more time off, probably, now that I think about it. I didn't really think about that at the time. Forgive me, it was 6 a.m. Moving on. Oh man, I always call him a certain dictator from Chechnya. His name is Krylov, not Kadyrov. Naita Krylov. I think you give him the loser of Murzakanov versus Johnny Walker. Or the winner. Which one makes more sense? I think it's the winner that makes more sense. Oh, shit. Yeah, very nice alarm. That will not be cut from the final take, because I hope someone had a chuckle at that. Okay. Krylov versus Murzakanov, Johnny Walker. I think... Is it the loser or is it the winner? I think we give him the loser because he is coming off a loss and he's probably going to be ranked 9. Murzakanov will be ranked. To be fair, Walker wins. He'll probably be ranked just below him. And Walker's coming off 2. I think you give him the winner. So forget the red on the screen that signifies the loser. I think you give him the winner of Murzakanov versus Johnny Walker. I'm trying to figure out what I put on this slideshow, which is very I'm not gonna say unprofessional because that sounds really wet, but you get the point. I mean, I think it's just a mid to low rankings fight though. If we're gonna be honest, I mean, Krylov gets a win back against someone coming off of a win. in either a up-and-coming Murzakanov or just a Johnny Walker holding this place in the rankings. So, yeah, makes sense to me. Patricio Pitbull. Now, this is one I need to explain a little bit because new to the UFC, 38 years old, looked very gun-shy against Yair. I mean, he clearly lost all 3 rounds. Granted, Yair was tapping him in the back of the head, and Rogan was coming along saying, well, it was only weird that they were all legal shots, There's none to the... Like, I can't do a Rogan impression at this point, but what Rogan was saying was, they're all legal shots, and even if they weren't, there weren't a lot of power behind them. The problem is with that, is even if you get hit to the back of the head, like 10 times by light hitting shots that are just, small taps with the palm of the hand, that's enough to mess up your equilibrium. Because, see, I would argue getting hit to the back of the head 10 times slightly is worse than just taking a straight jab or jab cross to the face a few times. You know what I mean? In terms of how it messes up your equilibrium. And if you've been hit to the back of the head a few times, even if they're light shots, it messes up where your feet goes. It messes up what your head's doing. It's different. We've all seen Pritchard Colin. I mean, or Colin. I think it's Colin. Obviously not the same thing. Very serious, but I mean, that was a few back of the head shots in the clinch. That wasn't like he was just pounding them with massive, like Chandler style ground and pound. So, and that because that was in boxing, he's like ground and pound in boxing. But you get the point. Like, few back of the head shots, even if they're light, that's where damage happens. As long as it keeps going, like that's where the referees need to pick up on this stuff. I know I'm diverting away from the point in the video, and we're at 11 minutes, but the referee needs to pick up on the stuff and stop it earlier because the back of the head shots, even if they're light, even if they're just taps in the back of the head, they mess with the equilibrium of the fighter. They're very much illegal, and that's where the damage is done. The damage is done in about 10 to 20 back of the head shots that are light to medium like strength, rather than just 10 big, well, not 10 big, but like 1 or 2 big strikes to the back of the head. So obviously they're going to cause you back like damage as well, but it's a lot worse with volume. And that's just about the back of the head. That's not like the rest of the head. The rest of the head's like slightly different. It's like, whatever. Anyway, who do I think Pitbull's going to be fighting after that? About 2.5 minute rant. I think he should fight Dan Ige. Now, he lost to Yair pretty convincingly. Ige's coming off a win. He's going to hold his 15th spot. Actually, he's going to move up to 13th. You give Patricio... I couldn't say his name in the bloody video before either. You give him You give him Pitbull coming off a loss against a guy who is coming off 1 win, but before that 2 back-to-back losses. So it also shows how well Pitbull will do compared to the rest of the division. So usually with a lot of these guys that come in from other promotions and they come in and they have like they get jumped up a lot and they have a ranked fight straight away. We don't really know, like Kaya Sakura, like Michael Chandler, because now he's getting fraud checked by everyone. We don't know how they stack up against the rest of the division. So I say you put Pitbull against someone lower ranked, get him ranked in the division. If he wins, if he loses, probably is too late for him to join the UFC and he probably should be cut. Easier fight for him, that being said, because the other guy's not 6 foot and with a huge reach advantage over him. But I think this is an easier fight. Obviously, I've just said that. What else was I going to say? I mean, we can't keep having these guys come in the UFC and just get fed to a top 5 matchup like routinely. That was meant to be a one-off with Chandler, and then Asakura comes in because of the circumstances at flyweight. We can't do this with Pitbull now because we've got to at least give him someone bottom 15, not bottom 15, yeah, bottom 15 in the rankings, or like bottom 5 in the rankings, that shows us how he stacks up against the featherweight division in terms of the rankings. Because he didn't beat Yair and he's ranked 5th. So we need to know how he does against a guy ranked outside of the top 10. And if he loses it, probably time to say goodbye to MMA. Gonna be real here. If you're not beating anyone, if you're not beating Dan Ige, you're not really doing at age 38. Yeah, you know what I mean? UFC probably won't keep it very long. Gene Silver. Fighting nerds. I hate this guy. I'm joking. Submitted Bryce Mitchell. Deserves a jump up in quality. I want to see him stiff out Lerone Murphy just because of his performance against Josh Emmett. I'm going to be real here. I would rather see I was gonna match him up against, like, did I say Josh Emmett? I was gonna say Josh Emmett because Josh Emmett wants to stay like active. No, I said like Aljamain Sterling. I was looking at Aljamain Sterling, Brian Ortega, Arnold Allen, and then I realized, hang on a minute, Lerone Murphy's in there. He's just 4, and he's a very annoying fighter to watch. I would love to see him get stiffed out cold and all momentum stuff. Now, obviously, he's annoying. I think Gene Silver puts him out cold. I hope Gene Silver puts him out cold. And if Lerone Murphy runs away the entire fight, he's going to get a lot of backlash. Anyway, I mean, it's a fun fight. It's not a fun fight to make. It's an important fight to make. I say they make it. I say we really test Lerone Murphy's skill to run away from someone who isn't one-dimensional Josh Emmett. So, moving on. He's back, Dominic Reyes. This fight may be the happiest all night. Obviously, you know, we had the Mitchell fight, the next fight in the car, and I thought, man, it ruined my mood completely. This fight, I cannot express how much this just made my night. Seeing Dominic Reyes put Krylov out cold, man, that really, like, especially with all the shit that my brother's been through, like, he's balding now, but at least he's got a win streak in the UFC, and a pretty good one at that. I think you give him Rakic. I said Rakic for Jan Blachowicz when he fought at London. You could put Jan Blachowicz in this. Do I want to see 40-year-old Jan Blachowicz versus slightly washed Reyes? Post Jones Reyes. No, I mean, we've already seen post Jones Reyes versus. This is a new Dominic Reyes. It doesn't matter. Do I want to see the second fight? Not really, but we could do 3-rounder or a 5-round main event in Poland. Yeah, bun that. Bun Rakic. I say we give him Jan Blachowicz. Rematch, but run it in Poland, or we've got one Azerbaijan. I mean, you could do co-main event of that. How are we doing a fight night in Azerbaijan and not putting the Azerbaijan fighter as the main event? Fucking matchmakers, mate. What's going on? Oh, yeah, we'll just put 2 guys from America. I know it's a rescheduled fight. Can't we just put that for an Atalanta main event? Can't we put that for an Apex main event? Why are we doing it in Azerbaijan? The first one I think they've ever done. Or maybe not ever done, but like done in a while. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think give him Jan Blachowicz, bun off Rakic. I don't even know why his face is even on the screen, so we're going to take it off the screen. Give him Jan Blachowicz, give him in Poland, end of the year. End of the year probably. They're both going to want to take some time off. Maybe not Reyes, but I mean, Jan Blachowicz, obviously, he likes his time off. If he's back, we can do it earlier. We can do it September. Whenever. They're probably not going to go to Poland, are they? Fucking never get anything done. Anyway, Michael Chandler, he's lost again. Who would have funked it? He is on a 3-fight losing streak, is he? What? He lost to... he lost to Gaethje. He's lost to Cho for the second time. Oh, yeah, I'm tired. Leave me alone. And he's just now lost to Paddy Pimblett. And by lost, I mean got brutally embarrassed. I mean, that was a beatdown from Pimblett. I'm going to say with Chandler, give him Renato Moicano. That's a fun fight. That's a fun fight that, you know, they can both entertain. I mean, Moicano might bring some stuff up by Chandler. Chandler might sit there and do his, like, cringy persona of the Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And just do his cringe, and, you know, Moicano might call him out. I don't know. Funner fight to make than anything else Chandler can really do, because he's probably going to be ranked 9th. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's 1-6. No, he's 2-5 in the UFC. You know what I mean? Like, he's 2-5 in the UFC, he's not going to be fighting above him. None of this, if our man wants a title shot, he has to go through me first. Like, none of that. He's going to be fighting someone below him. Give him Renato Moicano. It's a fun fight to make. It's probably one of the only fun fights you can give, like, other than maybe Ignacio Batamundez, who is like 6'3", so it's probably not going to be that fun of a fight. Below him, anyway, in the ranking. So, you know. And to finish this off with this 20-minute matchmaking video, which is like 4 times the length of any normal one. Volkanovski, he's back. He's back. Prime Volk is back. Obviously, he did get, I don't want to say chinned, but he did get his chin checked in this fight by Lopes. 2 or 3 times. Lopes has got a chin on him, to be fair. Lopes just absorbed every single strike that Volk threw at him. Like, if that's Yair Rodriguez or Josh, no, maybe not even Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's probably strong chin as well. Who else has got a, like, I don't know. If that's any other opponent in the featherweight division except maybe, like, Josh Emmett or Max Holloway, they go down. They get, probably even Josh Emmett goes down from that. Lopes just stood there and took it. I think that was a clear win for Volk. I'm arguing 4-1, possibly 5-0. Oh my goodness, messing up my recording. Possibly 5-0. I mean, I know it was 2-3 on the scorecards. He beat the shit out of Lopes in both those rounds, and he got like slightly rocked by him. Obviously, second round you could give to Lopes based on damage, and because every single like shot that Lopes landed was damage based. But at the same time, Volk was cracking him with like a similar amount of big shots, and on top of that, he was landing the big shots, and he was landing similar amounts of big shots against Lopes, and Lopes was just taking them better. So I think Volk won almost every round, so I don't think he was even that close. But I think we give him Evloev. Only one that makes sense, especially that you're doing. Well, I mean, you're not going to give Yair a title shot after one win. They were only going to give him a title shot if if Lopes won. You know what I mean? They're going to do Lopes versus Yair regardless. I think they do Volk versus Evloev. Makes sense. Do it for the belt. Volk probably beats Evloev. His anti-fun style. I think Volkanovski beats him. And that is everyone we have to matchmake today. So let me know what you think of this video. We're obviously going to do one of these for each card. And if you did go on to enjoy this video and you somehow made it to the end, leave a like, subscribe.